students, I am your biology lecturer. After long days, I am coming back with the human reproduction. In that, we already completed menstrual cycle and menstrual cycle graphical representation, that is the diagrammatic representation. In that, we can know the fluctuations of LH and FSH, progesterone, estrogen in the female body. Today, after the menstrual cycle, next topic we can discuss fertilization and implantation. Let me write the heading first. Fertilization and implantation. Fertilization, okay, already inside the menstrual cycle, means by the menstrual cycle, the ovum or a secondary oocyte is released by the Graafian follicle, which is captured by the fimbriae of a female reproductive system. Okay, I think you all forget the female reproductive system diagram. Okay, let me draw the diagram roughly, then you can understand. Again and again I am telling, the diagrams are very important to understand the concept, that is why please practice the diagrams. This is our female reproductive structure. Once you get the diagram, then you can easily understand the concept. Okay. This is the uterus, this is the cervix, and this is the vagina. Vagina have the opening called as a vaginal opening. Okay. You know the parts, then also I am telling, this is the uterus. Okay, I will label here uterus. Okay, this is a fallopian tube, or what is the another name of fallopian tube, or oviduct. Okay, then the fallopian tube have the three parts. This is the fimbriae part, means the part of the fallopian tube which have the hair like structures called fimbriae. Okay. The fallopian tube have the three parts. This one is isthmus. Okay, tube like structure, somewhat swollen structure is called ampulla, and a inverted bell shaped structure is called as a infundibulum. Okay. This is a structure of female reproductive structure. Female reproductive system. The infundibulum which have the fine ciliated structure called as a fimbriae. Wait, I will draw the ovary diagram also. Ovary which is present at both sides in the pelvic regions. The ovum, consider this is a wait, I will change the color of the, okay. Consider this is the Graafian follicle which releases egg, which releases the secondary oocyte. This is for understanding only. When the Graafian follicle releases the secondary oocyte, let me write that, secondary oocyte. Okay. This secondary oocyte is captured by the fimbriae which are present in the infundibulum structure of fallopian tube. Okay. After that, infundibulum transfer that secondary oocyte to the ampulla and isthmus junction. Here you can see where both the structures of fallopian tube like isthmus and ampulla, where they meet, that point is called as ampulla isthmus junction. After release of secondary oocyte which is captured by the fimbriae, it moved to the fallopian tube, that is isthmus and ampulla junction. Isthmus and ampulla junction ಗೆ ಅದು ಮೂವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Okay. Then you have to understand how the secondary oocyte move from the infundibulum to the isthmus and ampulla junction. It is very simple. The isthmus and ampulla junction which are having it is made by the ciliated epithelial tissues. Ciliated epithelial, just remember ciliated epithelium tissue. Ciliated epithelium tissue means the cilia which are present in the epithelial tissue. Inside the ampulla and isthmus regions, many cilia are present. Okay. By the movement of that cilia, the secondary oocyte can move from the infundibulum to isthmus ampulla junction. ಯಾವ ಥರ ನಾವು sperm move ಆಗುತ್ತಾ? It have the tail like that. Here the female gamete or secondary oocyte doesn't have any organs for the movement. Motility ಗೆ ಯಾವುದೇ organs ಇಲ್ಲ. Even though in the female reproductive system, the isthmus and means fallopian tube is made by the ciliated epithelial tissues. By the cilia, the movement of cilia, the secondary oocyte can move from infundibulum to isthmus ampulla junction. It is very clear. Okay. Means if the question comes like this, how the secondary oocyte can reach the isthmus ampulla junction? Okay. It is very easy, by the ciliated epithelial tissues cilia movement. Okay. Then after releasing of the secondary oocyte, the part of the Graafian follicle, remaining part of the Graafian follicle is termed as corpus luteum, which releases the hormone called pregnancy hormone, that is the progesterone. That hormone is also very necessary for the fertilization and implantation. Okay. This is all about the female gamete. Okay. Female gamete is released inside the ovary and it is means after rupturing the Graafian follicle, it released out, and which is captured by the fimbriae which are present in the infundibulum region of the oviduct. Then they are transferred to ampulla isthmus junction. Why I am telling repeatedly means this is very important. Ampulla isthmus junction. Okay. Where the fertilization occurs. Okay. This is very important. Remember this one. Then during the intercourse, this is all about the female gamete. Female gamete is safe now. It reached the ampulla isthmus junction. Okay. Now we have to discuss about the male gamete. Okay. The male gamete, sperm which enters a female reproductive system during the intercourse. During the intercourse, not only sperm enters the female reproductive system, the semen enters the female reproductive system. During intercourse, the semen is released by the penis of a male into the vagina. That process is known as insemination. Remember this. Here I will write during intercourse semen is released by penis into vagina is called as insemination. Release of semen by the penis into the vagina is called as insemination. It is during the intercourse. Okay. Then, when the semen is released by the penis into the vagina, the sperm move rapidly and passes through the cervix. When sperm enters the vagina, this is the vagina, this is the cervix. When the sperms enter the vagina, it is means because of the motility nature, the sperm rapidly enters into the cervix. Okay, and later it enters into the uterus and finally it reaches the ampulla isthmus junction. Listen guys, every month each ovum is released by each means one ovary, means it is not fixed. This month from this ovary, next month from this ovary. Only one ovum is released by the ovary in female per every month. Okay. Here the sperm reaches the, I will draw the sperm diagram like this, then you can easily get. The many sperms can enter into the uterus of a female and finally reach the ampulla isthmus junction. After that, when the male gamete and female gamete comes near, then fertilization occurs. Here only in the ampulla and isthmus junction fertilization occurs. Fertilization occurs in the ampulla and isthmus junction. It is not easy like this, because you have to understand how the sperm can enter inside the female gamete. Means secondary oocyte is not a functional ovum, it is just arrested in the meiosis condition. It not yet produces the functional ovum, it not completes its meiosis division. Okay, that is why you must understand the complete oogenesis process and the layers which surrounds the secondary oocyte. Then only you can get that how the sperm can enter inside the female gamete. For understanding that one, you have to know the structure of secondary oocyte. I hope you all know that structure. Then also I will draw. This is the secondary oocyte. This one is secondary. Okay, wait. Secondary oocyte. Okay. Just glance while explaining the oogenesis process. I explain the structure of secondary oocyte. Okay, the secondary oocyte which is present in the Graafian follicle, which is protected by the many layers of granulosa cells or follicular cells. Okay, and the secondary oocyte which is protected by the non-organic layer called zona pellucida. Zona pellucida is a non-organic layer which protects the secondary oocyte. Then after that, next layer, next the zona pellucida which have the single layer of granulosa cells. That layer is called as corona radiata. Corona radiata. In this situation, it is very easy to remember corona. Okay, don't forget that corona radiata, which is made by the granulosa cells. Remember this one. Then there are two layers, corona radiata and zona pellucida. Inside that, secondary oocyte is present. Okay, the secondary oocyte, it also have its own protective layer. This is a secondary oocyte which is protected by the zona pellucida. ಇದರ ನಾನು ಭಾಳ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬರೆದಿನಿ, ಬಟ್ ದ layers are not like this. They are compactly arranged. For your understanding, I am drawing like this. Okay. The secondary oocyte is also have its own layer, that is called as ovum layer. The specific name for that, Vitelline membrane. Vitelline membrane or ovum membrane. Commonly we can say ovum membrane or Vitelline membrane. When the fertilization occurs in the ampulla and isthmus junction, the fusion of sperm with an ovum is called as fertilization. Here the functional ovum, okay, only after the entry of sperm, the secondary oocyte can complete its meiosis division and produces the ovum and polar bodies. You know the process of oogenesis. Then also again and again I am telling, please practice previous classes and please read the previous classes, then only you can understand the actual process of fertilization and implantation. Okay. Here the point comes, only after the sperm the secondary oocyte can complete. Only after the sperm can complete its secondary, means meiosis second meiotic division. Okay. During the fertilization, sperm contacts with the zona pellucida layer. Okay, I will draw the sperm. It's like this. This is a tail portion. This one is a head portion. Okay, let me draw with the different color structure. Okay. Okay, in the head portion, you know that a cap like structure is present, that one is called as acrosome. It have the enzymes which burst during the fertilization. This is the head. Inside that head, the male nucleus is present. Okay, that male nucleus is called as a male pronucleus. During the fertilization, sperm contacts with the zona pellucida. Okay, don't get confused guys. The first layer means outermost layer of the egg, means oocyte is corona radiata only. Okay. Firstly, the sperm interact with the corona radiata, then into the zona pellucida. Zona pellucida have the receptor. Understand one concept here. When a particular chemical have to interact with a particular layer, means it have some receptors. General ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ, here I will explain. Suppose take the example plasma membrane. Plasma membrane ಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮಾ ಮೆಂಬ್ರೇನ್ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಕೆಮಿಕಲನ್ನು ಇಂಟೇಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಇಂಟೇಕ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಡಿಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ದೆನ್ ಸಪೋಸ್ ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನು ಗ್ಲೂಕೋಸ್ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಗ್ಲೂಕೋಸನ್ನು ಯಾಕೆ ಇಂಟೇಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮಾ ಮೆಂಬ್ರೇನ್, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮಾ ಮೆಂಬ್ರೇನ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಟೆಸ್ಟೈನ್ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಓಕೆ, The plasma membrane of intestine have to intake the glucose. Okay, for that the plasma membrane have its own receptor. Okay, in the cell unit in first year you study the function of plasma membrane. Plasma membrane is necessary for the transportation of molecules. Glucose is one of the macromolecule. Okay, for the movement of macromolecule it have some transporters. Okay, here I am showing that this one is a receptor. You can say this one is a transporter. The material by which the transportation is occurs, that material is called as a transporter. Okay. If the glucose is fit into this receptor, then only it is possible to enter inside the plasma membrane. Suppose ಈ ಥರ ಏನಾದರೂ ಈ ಗ್ಲೂಕೋಸ್ ಮೊಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಈ ಥರ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಇತ್ತು, ಇನ್ಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ರೆಕ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ it is not possible to fit into this receptor, then it is not possible to enter inside the plasma membrane. Means the molecule which is have to be enter inside the plasma membrane, it must fit into the receptors which are present on the plasma membrane or any other membrane. ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಸೆಲ್ ಆರ್ಗನ್ ಆಗಲಿ, ಆ ಆರ್ಗನ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಅದು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆಗಿ ಎಂಟರ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ಆ ಲೇಯರ್ ಮೇಲೆ, ಸಪೋಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಲೇಯರ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ರಿಸೆಪ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಇರಲೇಬೇಕು. ಆ ರಿಸೆಪ್ಟರ್ ಜೊತೆ ಆ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಇಂಟರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮಾ ಮೆಮ್ಬ್ರೇನ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಇಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್. ಅದು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಿ it allows that molecule can enter into it. ಓಕೆ, ಯಾವಾಗ ಅದು ಫಿಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಸಪೋಸ್ ಈ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಫಿಟ್ ಆದರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸಮ್ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಅಕರ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್ ದ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮಾ ಮೆಮ್ಬ್ರೇನ್, ದೆನ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಈಸಿ ಟು ಎಂಟರ್ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್ ದ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮಾ ಮೆಮ್ಬ್ರೇನ್. ಅದೇ ಥರ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ರೆಕ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಶೇಪ್ ಮೊಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ನ ತೊಗೊಂಡೇನೆ. ಆ ರೆಕ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಶೇಪ್ ಮೊಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಗೆ ಫಿಟ್ ಆಗೋ ರಿಸೆಪ್ಟರ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ವೇರ್ ದೇರ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಡಿಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್, ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಡಿಫ್ಯೂಸೇಬಲ್ ಮೊಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾವೆ, ಆವಾಗ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸೂಟ್ ಆಗುವ ರಿಸೆಪ್ಟರ್ಸು ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಆ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮಾ ಮೆಮ್ಬ್ರೇನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರಲೇಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಈಸ್ ನೋನ್ ಆಸ್ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ಲಿ ಪರ್ಮಿಯೇಬಲ್. ಯಾವುದು ಫಿಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾವೆ, ಅದರ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟನ್ನು ಅದರ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ನ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿಡಲ್ಲ. ದ್ಯಾಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ಲಿ ಪರ್ಮಿಯೇಬಲ್. selective material only can enter inside the plasma membrane or any other membrane. Okay, let me explain the main point. When the sperm interact with the zona pellucida layer, after the corona radiata, zona pellucida layer is present here. Okay, this is the zona pellucida. Where I can write? Here I will write zona pellucida layer. Please write down the notes, guys, then only you can understand. Firstly, understand these mind maps. Okay, that's why I am using different color pens. Don't get confused. This is the layer of zona pellucida. Let me change the color of acrosome, because we drawn the zona pellucida with the same color one. Okay, now you can distinguish, this one is orange color, this one is red color. Okay, then when the zona pellucida is interact with sperm, only when the zona pellucida have the receptor. I hope you can see this one. this color, okay. This one is a receptor. In the females, in humans, a female secondary oocyte, particularly in the zona pellucida, let me label this zona pellucida, I am writing just ZP. Zona pellucida have the ZP3 receptor. ZP3 receptor is present on the zona pellucida layer, then only it recognizes the sperm acrosome. Okay, ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತಿದ್ದು ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ನ ರೆಕಗ್ನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. Okay, it recognizes the sperm acrosome. You know that acrosome is an enzyme filled sac-like structure which bursts and releases its enzyme. Okay, when it interact with the ZP3 receptor, the enzymes which are present inside the acrosome, the acrosome get burst, the enzymes which are present in the acrosome, they get released. Okay, then the nucleus which is present inside the sperm, it can easily pass into the secondary oocyte. See here, this is a different diagram. This is the zona pellucida. When sperm comes contact with the zona pellucida have the receptor called ZP3 receptor. It recognizes the sperm which interact with the sperm and help to burst the acrosome. When the acrosome bursts, it releases the enzyme which helps in dissolve of the zona pellucida. ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, zona pellucida ಲೇಯರು ಡಿಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ. ದೆನ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಈಸಿ, ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದ ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ oocyte. ಇಲ್ಲಿ zona pellucida ಲೇಯರ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಸಡನ್ನಾಗಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಇದು ತನ್ನ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ಸನ್ನು ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ oocyte ಒಳಗೆ ಎಂಟ್ರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ zona pellucida ಲೇಯರನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ಬೆರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ oocyte ಅಲೋ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. ದೇರ್ ಈಸ್ ಅನದರ್ ಲೇಯರ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ oocyte, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈಟಲಿನ್ ಮೆಂಬ್ರೇನ್. ಓಕೆ, after dissolvement of the zona pellucida layer, there is another layer called vitelline membrane. Okay, the enzymes which are present in the acrosome, they have the capacity to dissolve both the zona pellucida and the vitelline membrane. ಎರಡು ಲೇಯರು ಡಿಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ದು ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಎಗ್ ಸೈಟೋಪ್ಲಾಸಮ್ ಜೊತೆ ಎಗ್ ಸೈಟೋಪ್ಲಾಸಮ್ನ ರೀಚ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ದೇರ್ ಈಸ್ ಅನದರ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಐ ಟೋಲ್ಡ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಅ ಮಿಲಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಎಂಟರ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದ ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್, ಬಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಒನ್ ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸ್ ದ ಒನ್ ಓವಮ್. ಓಕೆ, ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಒಂದು ಓವಮನ್ನು ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಓಕೆ, ಸಪೋಸ್ ಈಗ ಆ ಸ್ಪರ್ಮಿಗೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ ಆ ಎಗ್ಗನ್ನು ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿತ್ತಂತ. ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಸೋ ಮೆನಿ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಇಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್. ಮೆನಿ sperm can enters inside the egg, but there is a restriction. Only ovum or a female egg allows only one sperm can fertilize it. ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪರ್ಮನ್ನು ಅಲೋ ಮಾಡುತ್ತದೆ ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಸಂಬಂಧ. How? Means when one sperm enters after breaking the vitelline membrane, then it stops the entry of other sperms. Okay, ಯಾವಾಗ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪರ್ಮು ಎಂಟರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ, ವೈಟಲಿನ್ ಮೆಂಬ್ರೇನ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ತನ್ನ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ಸನ್ನು ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ಎಗ್ ಸೈಟೋಪ್ಲಾಸಮ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಎಂಟರ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೋ, ಆವಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡತ್ತಾ, ದ ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ಎಗ್ ವಿಚ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ಸ್ ದ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಆಫ್ ಅದರ್ ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್. ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪರ್ಮು ಅಗೇನ್ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಆಗಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿಡಲ್ಲ. ಹಿಯರ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಬೈ ದಿಸ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್. Wait 1 second. This is the egg, okay, means secondary oocyte nucleus. This is the male pronucleus. Male pronucleus means male gamete, okay, male gamete nucleus, male pronucleus. And second thing here, ಏನಿದು ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಆರ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೇ ಎಗ್ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್, ಎಗ್ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸೈಟೋಪ್ಲಾಸಮ್, ಎಗ್ ಸೈಟೋಪ್ಲಾಸಮ್. ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಸೆಲ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಸೈಟೋಪ್ಲಾಸಮ್ ಮತ್ತು ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಇರಲೇಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೈಟೋಪ್ಲಾಸಮ್. ಓಕೆ, ದೆನ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ vitelline membrane. This is the vitelline membrane. It breaks, okay, by the entry of sperm. ಆಮೇಲೆ next layer, here there is a zona pellucida layer. Zona pellucida layer also breaks, and here corona radiata also breaks. Corona radiata also broken by the entry of sperm. Sperm enters, this is the acrosome, it bursts and releases the male gamete, and releases the male gamete, that is the male pronucleus. Okay, then after entry of one sperm, the female egg ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು particular cell, the female egg stops the entry of other sperm. That process is by the process called block 2. This is very important. Block 2 polyspermy. Poly means many, spermy means sperm entry. Block 2 polyspermy means it blocks the entry of other sperms. How? Means after entry of sperm, the chemical changes. The receptor which are present on the zona pellucida layer. Zona pellucida layer ಮೇಲೆ ಏನು ZP3 ರಿಸೆಪ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ವಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವಾಗ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ ಅದನ್ನು ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ರಿಸೆಪ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾವೆ, ಡಿಜನರೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾವೆ. ಇಟ್ ಲಾಟ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ರಿಸೆಪ್ಟರ್. ಯಾವುದೇ ರಿಸೆಪ್ಟರ್ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪರ್ಮನ್ನು ರೆಕಗ್ನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ಸೇ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ ರೆಕಗ್ನೈಸ್ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಕ್ರೋಸಮ್ ಬರ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಆಕ್ರೋಸಮ್ ಬರ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇಂಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ಟು ಎಂಟರ್ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್ ದ ಓವಮ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಈಸಿ. ZP3 ರಿಸೆಪ್ಟರ್ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾವೆ, ಡಿಜನರೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾವೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಹಿಯರ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ 2 polyspermy by the mechanism called degeneration of ZP3 receptors which are present on the zona pellucida. Okay, then the nucleus of the sperm enters into the ovum of a secondary oocyte. ಈ secondary oocyte ಒಳಗೆ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಆಯಿತು. This whole structure is called, I don't get confused, this whole structure is called as secondary oocyte. Okay, secondary oocyte have its nucleus called egg nucleus or secondary oocyte nucleus. Then secondary oocyte completes its meiosis. ಯಾವಾಗ ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ಸು ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ oocyte ಒಳಗೆ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಆವಾಗ ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ oocyte which completes its meiosis second and forms a 2 unequal sized cells, one functional ovum and one polar body or polar cell. Okay, when sperm enters ovum after completion of meiosis, the ovum nucleus fuses with the male pronucleus to form a diploid zygote. ಯಾವಾಗ ಈ female nucleus, here I will draw, I am drawing only the layer, vitelline layer. When the egg nucleus forms one big functional ovum and one small polar body. This one is polar body and this one is a functional egg and this one is a male pronucleus. Later the polar body get degenerate. After this one is female one, this one is male. Okay, the fusion of male and female gamete, it forms a diploid zygote. Here male nucleus have the single set of chromosome n plus n 2n, diploid zygote is formed. This process is known as fertilization. In English class we understand the entry of sperm inside the female reproductive system and it releases the acrosomal enzymes when it contact with the zona pellucida layer, and only one sperm can enters into the female gamete or a secondary oocyte. It blocks the other sperm entry by the process called as degeneration of ZP3 receptor. That whole process is known as block to polyspermy. Okay. We will continue next topic, that is implantation, in the next class. I hope all of you understanding these topics. These are very interesting and quite difficult. Once you understand the concept with the help of diagram, then you can easily get the points. Now I will show the notes. I will give some time, take screenshot and write those notes. Okay. Here is our notes. Topic name is fertilization and implantation. In that I explain the intercourse or entry of the semen into the vagina, and also I explain that secondary oocyte can enter or reach the ampulla Graafian junction. Here is a diagram of secondary oocyte. Okay. Fertilization which occurs in the ampulla is the points which I explained during the explanation. I wrote the points here. Okay. Write the notes neatly and read repeatedly. Practice the diagram, then only you can understand the concept. Here is the next points. Okay, zona pellucida contact. Here I draw the diagrams for understanding the sperm entry. Here you can see block to polyspermy. Okay. Please write down the notes. It will help you to revise. Okay. Thank you. We will continue in the next class.